Good morning, and thank you for watching this morning, wherever you are. Most people would say, having a life you love will make you happy. I understand their idea. I just think they have it wrong. I believe that being happy will help you to create the life that you love. Let me explain. My friend John is always in a good mood. He always has something positive to say. When someone would ask him how he was doing, he'd often reply, "Wow, if I were any better, I'd be twins." He's a natural motivator. If an employee was having a bad day, John was right there telling him how to look on the positive side of the situation. Seeing his style really made me curious. So one day I asked him, "I don't get it. How can you be so positive all the time? How do you do it?" He seemed shocked by my question, and he answered, "It really is pretty simple. Each morning I wake up and say to myself, you have two choices today. You can choose to be in a good mood, or you can choose to be in a bad mood." I choose to be in a good mood. Each time something bad happens, I can choose to be a victim, or I can choose to learn from it. I choose to learn from it. Every time someone comes to me complaining, I can choose to accept their complaining, or I can point out the positive side of life. I choose the positive side. "Yeah, right, but it's not that easy," I told him. It can't be that easy. "Oh, yes, it is," he said. "Life is all about choices. When you cut away all the junk, every situation is a choice. You choose how you react to situations. You choose how people affect your mood. You choose to be in a good mood or a bad mood. The bottom line is, it's your choice how you live your life." I reflected on what he said, and I have to admit it seemed pretty easy. But I was not convinced. We lost touch with each other, and I've often thought about him when I made a choice of my life instead of reacting to it. Some years later, I heard that John had been involved in a pretty serious accident, falling nearly 60 feet from a communications tower. After long surgeries and weeks of intensive care, he was released from the hospital with rods placed in his back. I saw him about 6 months after the accident. When I asked him how he was doing, he replied, "If I were any better, I'd be twins. You want to see my scars?" I told him no, I didn't want to see his scars, but I wanted to know what went through his mind when that accident took place. He said, "Well, the first thing that went through my mind was my wife and my little daughter. And then as I lay there on the ground, I remembered that I had two choices. I could choose to live or I could choose to die. I chose to live." "But weren't you scared?" I asked him. How did you deal with that?" He continued, The paramedics were great. They kept telling me that I was going to be fine. But when they wheeled me into ER and I saw the expressions of faces of the doctors and nurses, I got pretty scared. In their eyes, I read, he's a dead man. I knew that I had to take some action. "Well, what did you do?" I asked him. "Well, there was one big burly nurse that kept shouting questions at me. She asked if I was allergic to anything. Yes, I replied. And the whole ER went quiet as everybody waited for my answer. I took a deep breath and yelled, "Gravity." The entire ER just rolled with laughter. I told them, "I'm choosing to live. Operate on me as if I'm alive, not dead." Well, obviously he lived, and great thanks to the skill of the doctors and nurses. But I think a lot of it had to do with his amazing attitude. I've learned from him that every day we have the choice to live a full and happy life. After all, attitude is everything. Matthew 6:24 says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." I guess it's true that today is the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday. I pray that you have a blessed day today. Each morning, look to this Facebook page for more encouraging videos that will help to lift your spirits. And as always, I encourage you to leave a comment down there below and hit that like button. And feel free to share this video with your friends. Thank you, and God bless you as you go through your day today.